Morning. Welcome to Monday Morning Roar. Today is Monday, the 4th of January. And the topic for today is winning and losing. You know, I've been a sports fan for, I guess over 60 years. And I've always been kind of loyal to my teams. And that's not always easy to do. And they sometimes they have winning seasons, and more likely than not, especially for the teams I've followed, they've been losing seasons. But I think I've learned a lot more by being a follower of teams that have losing seasons than of being a team follower of the best team or always the champion. I've learned a lot about both winning and losing, and it's really interesting to how it ties in together with life and with business. With the whole concepts of winning and losing. It's when you think about it in any team sport or even individual sport, there's always going to be a winner and always going to be a loser, and people go in always thinking they want to win. In fact, there's sometimes their coaches say that that winning is everything. That's all you want to do is make sure you win, and that avoid losing at any cost. But there's always going to be a team that's going to lose, and how they handle that loss, a lot of times will determine how successful they are the next time they play. When you win, you learn a lot. I always think about, especially in the sport of bowling, when you go bowling, and you get up there and you throw that ball down there, you roll that ball down the alley and you hit a perfect strike. And you think, gosh, nothing really changes. The alley's still the same. There's no wind or anything. And if I could just completely replicate that muscle motion again, that muscle memory, and I could throw 12 or 13 of those in a row and have a 300 game. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work that way, but that's the thought in how to continue winning, is to think about what exactly you did and to replicate that action again. That'll allow you to win more often. Unfortunately, there's different parts of nature that aren't going to always let you do that, or you haven't practiced enough and you haven't really got it all down, or your mind starts playing games with you. Same thing with losing. When you see these sports, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, whatever it is, these professional athletes, they want to win. They've got the idea of, they go and started the season with the championship in mind, and yet every game, 50% of the players on the floor are going to walk off with a loss. So what's really important is that they learn something from that loss and that they don't keep repeating those losses, and that's why they look at the tape, the videotape of the game, and they analyze and say, well, what should I have done here? What could I have done there? Sometimes you hear them say, well, the game was so bad, we aren't even going to look at the tape. Well, that's really probably a big mistake, because that's the time you really need to study, because if you've made that many errors, you've got to know what you did wrong and want to be able to correct it. So being able to correct those mistakes from a loss is really a great advantage. Sometimes when we win, we celebrate and we say, hey, we did great, and we think, well, we can just kind of do that naturally, and it doesn't always work that way. So losing is probably the most beneficial thing that you can do in sports. So think about that as you go through life and play in sports or run for office or whatever you do. When you lose, you can really gain a lot. I'm looking forward to the new year, and looking forward to more Monday Morning Roars, and looking forward to seeing you next week. Thank you.